Alright guys, how's it going? So welcome to Monday. It's about 2 p.m. And it's as hot as balls in this freaking shop. Door's been down all day. I just opened it up now. I don't even know what this... I don't know if this thing even works. I got a temperature thing here. I got one on the outside the shop too. It says that it's about 90 something in here. A little over 95 degrees in the shop. Or 35-ish Celsius for you Canadian guys. So it's just a little warm in the shop. The thing on the outside of the shop says the same thing too. So it's hot as balls in here, but I don't usually... Should have just left the door open, I guess, for a little while and then come back. Oh, come on, what's the problem here? I had you guys on there before. Come on. Play nice, you little bastard. So, this will be kind of a short video because I got a pizza cooking. I'm going to destroy this thing, I swear to God. It's not that hard to put it on the nail, come on. It's like it can't find the freaking hole now all of a sudden, eh? Can't find the hole? There we go. Jesus Christ. That was a nightmare. But yeah, she's about 95 here. Or it says 95 on the outside temperature gauge thing too. I think it's just reading the wall temperature though. It's not actually reading. I don't know. I don't trust these things. I feel like they're way higher than they really need to be. I keep trying to tune it, you know, like I try to tune it to, or adjust it like to what my phone says, but it never matters. It always seems to auto-correct itself and goes back to that temperature, but, you know, back to being off. So, anyways, I'm going to make this video, and I know everybody around here already knows all this crap, but I went to get some gas today, you know, for the machines and everything. And then we have a lot of people planted this yellow mustard or whatever the hell it is they got growing out here, that yellow stuff. And I took a picture, maybe I'll overlay it here if I remember. And then of course Mother wanted some for her stupid Snapchat BS crap, you know, whatever, I don't know. So we did a little bit of that, and then we went to this town. It's pretty much a ghost town now. That's where the border used to be, but they closed that border many years ago. So, but I just want to show you, and I took video of this, and I don't know how good this video is going to turn out because I haven't watched it yet, but I might have to redo it. If I didn't do a very good job this time, I might have to redo it again. But the thing is that how this is set it up. Now, if you look, I didn't notice it until like last minute, but there are cameras up, mostly like trail cameras, you know, gaming cameras, and a lot of them are wireless. So obviously it's probably taking my picture, which is fine, but whatever. The thing is how this border is closed off. Now I understand that they have cameras, they have these sensors or whatever. Well, I imagine these sensors are going off all the freaking time, because when I was there, and maybe you'll see it on the camera, there was deer in Canada. They were on the Canadian side, and they were coming across. They were going to go right under that freaking metal bar. Look, here comes a deer. Holy shit. And this is all we have to keep people from going across our freaking border. And you think that really is going to do us justice, huh? Because there's Canada. Canada's right over there. That's all it is. Just a fucking bar. And they don't even have the lights plugged in anymore to warn people, hey, don't come over here. Look at right there. Yeah, I could walk right fucking through that. You got that stupid time. It is illegal to enter Canada from here. No shit. You will be arrested and maybe returned to the United States. Yeah. Sure. I just seen a bunch of freaking deer coming right through here. There's a deer right there. Right on the road. So he's in Canada right now, and he's gonna come walking right into the US. Just right under the bar too. Oh yeah. That's interesting. They got one camera right there. But that's it. That's all they have for a system. Isn't that something? Yeah, your cameras are really going to do a lot. It's going to do a lot to stop people over here. What a fucking joke. No wonder why they jumped this border so freaking easy, eh? All you got is freaking cameras. And you come into the US. So I can't well imagine that they're tripping the sensors. I don't know if these sensors that they have are like, you know, special sensors to maybe where they don't sense deer, but it senses just people. I don't know. I don't know what they got going on there. So, yeah. So like I said, I don't know how good it'll show up in the video, but I will insert it. And that's what we have to stop immigrants from crossing that border. That's all it is. It's an absolute freaking joke. And I don't know if I showed it very well on the video, and this is the one I have to point to the most, is between that gate, that yellow gate that hasn't been touched since the moon landing. Between the gate, you have another bar, or not a bar, but I think it's the orange barrier. Well, there's like a 3-foot gap between that, and you can tell that the grass has been mushed down. Now that could be deer. That could be deer going through it, but they don't really have to because they can just walk under the freaking yellow bar, and they're in the U.S. It's super fucking nice to know that. I mean, yeah, we have no way of controlling the wildlife from, you know, crossing the border illegally, but it must be nice, you know, to know that you can go into Canada as a deer or a bird or even as a damn rat. It doesn't really matter. You get to go into that border, cross the border, and never get shot at, never get arrested, never get handcuffed. None of that stuff. You're free to come and go as you freaking please, you know. So I feel like mostly that's aliens crossing that. Now they're gonna get on camera. I didn't see that. It's so dumb. And I don't know, maybe they're trying to hide these cameras, and I understand that. You're trying to hide them. And some cameras, like I said, a lot of these cameras I didn't see. Now there are cameras up there, like actual security cameras, but I don't think they're active anymore. I think that they've been long since disabled, but they're still left up there because the buildings are still there. I don't know if maybe because I believe the government doesn't own that border anymore. It actually is sold to a private person. Last I was told or heard that it's actually a private It's private property now. It actually belongs to someone. I guess to whoever could afford, a border crossing, which I'm sure those things cost a few $100,000, if not probably close to $1 million. Given that's not a very big border, it probably wasn't. I mean, I think too that the government, obviously, that the government doesn't want to own land. They would either give it to somebody that can live on it, and then they can just take the tax money. So usually when the government actually wants to try to get rid of land, they will sell it pretty cheap. They'll try to get what they think is fair for it, whatever. But, they are going to usually ask for a little bit less than, whatever. So the thing is, if I wanted to go into Canada right now, I could just walk right through either under that yellow bar or between the yellow bar and that orange barricade thing. Like, it's ridiculous to think that that's the only thing that's stopping people from crossing. And then, maybe you'll see it on camera, they have the thing chained closed, obviously, so people can't push it open and then just drive in and out as they please. It has to be locked. But you don't have the safety lights plugged in. That's been unplugged. Personally, I think I would leave the lights plugged in. I don't know if there's even any power going to that place anymore. Maybe it not. Hence why they don't have the lights plugged in. Maybe there's no power there anymore. But I think if I owned it, I would leave the power on. So at least one, you could run cameras and then run, safety lights. Because what if somebody's in a high-speed chase with the cops and they want to get into Canada? And they don't see that yellow. I mean, it's a yellow bar, so you think, okay, I'm going to see it. But, if the lighting's not that good, if your eyesight ain't that good, whatever, you may not see that until the last minute, and then you're gonna go slamming into it, and then, chances are you're probably going to break the chain before you really break anything else. So, because that chain's probably pretty rusty and pretty, getting kind of soft now. So, but I think I would have had at least the safety lights plugged in, and had them blinking, so then that way people, it's, extra bit of safety. I mean, most people around here are not going to do that, obviously, but I'm talking about people that are from far away. They're not familiar with this area, outsiders. They're not going to know anything. They're not going to know any better, So, but that's why that border is ridiculous. That's why that border is a freaking hot spot. Because it's not being, like, they do have Border Patrol sitting there every now and then. They do sit there. They'll sit there for 8-10 hours in their blazer, just waiting for somebody to walk by. Well, you're not always going to catch they're not always going to see somebody. Even when I talked to the ex-mayor a couple of weeks ago, he even said too that there was an immigrant that crossed the border over there, walked across a farmer's field, ended up literally in town, but like at the intersection where if you're on the highway and you're pulling into town, or if you're leaving town and you're going onto the highway, it's it's the intersection there. So he was already in town when him and his friend or whatever, they called Border Patrol and said, hey, we got an immigrant running around. So it's absolutely just ridiculous that's what we have to keep them from crossing. Now, they can cross anywhere along here, obviously. But if you're not going to put in the effort, to try to stop this problem, it's a problem. But the government doesn't want to do anything. And then they sit there and say, well, this could take years, No, it does not take years to do this. I know what needs to be done. It's just the fact that the government doesn't want to fork out the cash, They don't want to do it because they want the immigrants here in the U.S. because they are a cheaper source for labor. they will work for less and they will get everything handed to them for free. That's why now they're driving fancy cars, living in nice apartments or even in houses, and they're living the high life, you know, and they did wrong. But yet us normal people that have worked our asses off for all these years, you know, and actually did something good for this country, you know, we just kind of just get, you know, shoved into the weeds, and then that's it, you know, we just get put underground and basically a fuck you and whatever, right? I know what needs to be done at that border. But the problem is that, you know, the government needs to pay for that, and they don't need to wait 2 years or 10 years or 15 years. You need to start now. They should have started 3, 4, 5, 10 years ago when this was actually becoming an issue. So, but thanks to all our stupid, you know, queer presidents and the lazy government system, this is what we get to deal with, is a shitty border crossing that's obviously been shut down for years, but the lack of, you know, of even trying. All that stuff was put in place, you know, for years. You know, like, I don't know, that was probably put there. I don't know when those barricades were put there, those orange things. They were obviously probably put there maybe when it closed. I don't know. But a lot of them are cracked. They're broken. Half of them are missing, you know, because they're just so weather cracked that they're literally crumbling if you touch them. And you're not doing anything about that. You could be taking that shit out and putting, like, fencing, like some really good strong fencing. Or what I recommend doing, and I have some, but I'm using them currently. They're U-shaped bars, or they're posts that you would hang like signs on and stuff. I have one that belonged to the shop here that's holding up my power wire because I had to the tree had to come down, so I couldn't hold my power line up anymore. They're expensive, but I think if the border was to pay for that, they would be cheap. Because all you got to do is get like 15 footers, 20 footers, 25 footers, and they can't push them over, because if you put them in 4 to 6 feet into the ground, you know, and if the ground actually firmed up a little bit, you know, they would never get them out. You know, I mean, and then if you actually put concrete around it, well, then it's solid as a rock. But mine is driven directly into the earth. There's no concrete, and the dirt has been firming up now, and there's actually grass and stuff starting to grow around it, and it's fairly solid, you know. But it's what they use to hold up signs, you know, for streets and stuff like that. So why not just get like a few million of those and just put them in the ground, you know, like maybe 2 inches apart, 4 inches apart, whatever, you know, and there you go. Then you could do that all along the damn thing. And because now I understand that you got a road here, you know, well, you can still jackhammer a hole, clean it out, and then auger a hole, or whatever the fuck you got to do, drive them in, and then if you want to, just put fresh concrete back on top of that. And then if you really wanted to make it so where if you had to, you know, go through that border for some reason, then all you would really have to do is maybe just, like, you know, a few inches below ground, just, you know, like have a couple of bolts in there. Because the chances are the immigrants are not going to carry tools to unbolt these things. You know, they're not going to do that. That would take too much time. So, but if we had to get through there for whatever reason, then you could just unbolt everything and then it would come down. But just a stupid bar, a yellow bar with a stop sign on it, and flashing lights that are not even flashing, that's ridiculous. And then you have a gap right there. No wonder why that's such a stinking hot spot. Because the government's so lazy. Like, I understand that it's private property, but, you know, the thing is, too, is that the owner should be agreeing with a lot of people and the government saying, okay, well, if this is becoming a hot spot, then go ahead and do what you have to do. You know, it's crazy. You know, so I mean, like I said, I'm just blown away by it. And you got those stupid gaming cameras there. Okay, yeah, you're taking pictures or making videos or taking video, whatever, of whoever walks by. The bloody freaking point is that by the time the camera sends its signal to your phone or your computer, whatever you have it going to, that's going to take, you know, a few seconds. And then you got the person that's got to look at it, process it, and then they have to turn around and react and tell Border Patrol to get out there. That's what's going to take the longest, is to actually get a Border Patrol car out there to catch them. This is all going to take, you know, 5-10 minutes before anybody even gets out there. Well, that guy could have ran for the hills. He could be hiding in a tree. You know, he could be in a ditch. And now, since a lot of the farmers' crops have come up high enough now, they can just lay low and they're under the crop. You know, they're hidden by the crops. So it's actually kind of funny, because even the U.S. government knows that this is a huge issue, and they just refuse to, you know, they just refuse to do anything about it. It's fucking insane to think that, I don't care, let the immigrants do what they want, even though they're doing wrong. You know. But let's just bring them in and let them have their way. Let them live in our country for free. They're supposed to be getting arrested and actually sent back to where they come from, which I don't think that's happening now. They're getting to live the high life. We're paying for their fuck up. We're paying for them to cross this border illegally. And, you know, they get to live in a fancy house while we get to live in a crappy house. You know, it's actually it's extremely disappointing to know that this is what our government is doing. This is what our borders become to. You know, this is what's going on with it now. You know, it's like, it's not going to cost billions to cross it off. It's not. I guess I'm not getting any mail then. All right, good. So, but yeah, I mean, the border, while the government, they act like this is going to cost billions. The only way it's going to cost billions is if you have to go the whole length of this country, that's what you should be doing. But you could at least be starting at the borders, and then, you know, making it a little bit hard, you know, making it harder, you know. But they don't even try to start. That's why Trump wanted to build the wall. Even down south, he wanted to build the wall, you know, but he wanted Mexico to pay for it. Well, yeah, that's a good idea, but then the Mexican government was like, no, we're not paying for it. You know, it's your problem. It's kind of your problem too, Mexico, because you're the one that's actually allowing it. You could be doing something about it too. You know, taking back your damn country instead of letting all the gangs have it and destroy it. So, I don't know. It's just ridiculous. But the way I see it is, regardless who has to pay for it, I think at the end of the day, it should have just had been built anyway. And then let's worry about the bill afterwards. Let's worry about the money after the fact. That's the way I freaking see it. Let's get it done. Let's just get it done, and then we'll worry about it afterwards. Then you can freaking duke it out. You know? So, it's the same thing up here. It's just like, just get it done. Let's just get it done, and then we'll worry about the freaking crap later. And then I found out that they were actually driving their cars, like literally on the tracks, the train tracks. A lot of them got stuck, and then a lot of them were driving on the gravel that, holds the tracks. And then our local sheriff department, they were going to donate $6,000. Well, they were going to take $6,000 out of their own pocket to put up barriers, concrete barriers, to stop them from driving on the tracks. Looks like that never got done. I think because in all reality, all they were going to do is just stop the cars from coming through. They weren't going to actually physically stop the people from, because the people can jump those barriers. The barriers are not 10 feet tall. They're only like maybe 3 to 4, just enough to stop a car. So, but it's not going to stop. I mean, if they really wanted to get into the U.S. bad enough, they would just abandon the car then at, the crossing and just jump the fence and go. They're not going to care about the car. The car is probably fucking stolen anyway. So they're not going to care. So it's just ridiculous. I would say put those U-shaped street signs in. Mine are heavy duty. There's heavy duty, medium duty, and then there's light duty. I think mine are the heavy duty kind. And I think mine came from uline.com. I don't remember 100%, but either uline.com or there was another place that you can get signs and stuff, and posts and crap. So, just get the ones that you need. I recommend getting the heavy duty ones just so they're a little tougher, and if somebody should accidentally hit them with a car or something, well, they'll probably bend them, but they're not going to, break them right off. So, but I don't know. It's absolutely freaking ridiculous that this is what our government does. Personally, I think our government wants them in here because they're cheap, whereas us Americans, we're expensive, and we want top dollar for what we do. We want $18, $20, $24 an hour, whereas the immigrants, they'll work for $1.50 an hour. And companies know that too. That's why everything has gone such piss poor. Like you can't even buy food, like food that's made in a factory. Like the Hungry Man TV dinners, like that kind of shit. You can't buy that crap because it's not even put well together. Most of it's probably done by robots, but a lot of that is done by, hands too, right? And it's all just piss poor. I don't even know if the food is safe to eat around here anymore because, that the immigrants are getting their hands on it. Who knows what the fuck they're doing to it. Pissing on it, shitting on it, spitting on it. Who wants to eat food knowing that their girl's hands have been all over it? And yet they were the ones that came across the border illegally, but yet let's give them a fucking job, or just give them a multi-million-dollar mansion and a $300,000 Ferrari and let them, drive around in that. When a guy like me has to work for 80, 90 years to maybe get a chance at buying a decent house and maybe a decent car. But it sure in the hell ain't going to be no fucking Ferrari, and it sure in the hell ain't going to be no goddamn multi-million-dollar mansion. That's how we're getting treated. It should be us that are driving Ferraris, multi-million-dollar mansions. The immigrants should just be living in a freaking shack, But we were the ones that made this fucking country, so we're the ones that should be spoiled and getting to live the good life. But we don't get treated that way, so... But... yeah, I don't know, that border thing is a joke. Like I said, if I didn't do a very good video on it, maybe I'll go back another time and make a little bit of better, more detailed kind of video, but it's just ridiculous. And then you got a fucking sign that's saying, "Oh, you crossed the border illegally, you're gonna get arrested." What? And you're just gonna throw me back and then back into to the U.S. and be like, "Don't do it again." It's like you don't actually get punished for your crimes. It's ridiculous. So I don't care if they're fucking aliens, foreigners, whatever the hell it is. I don't care if they're scared for their lives. They've been using that excuse for hundreds of years, saying that they're freaking scared. They're afraid for their lives. They're using that freaking word or that saying because they know that it'll make you feel guilty, and you'll give in and let them live here. Now, they need to go back to their own country and learn to freaking defend for themselves and mind their own damn business and stay the hell in their own country. If you're so worried about your country going to shit, well then maybe you need to go do something about it then, huh? Just like here in America, we're trying to do what we need to do to keep our country safe, but when we're not really getting the help that we need to do it. Like, look at Texas. Texas had to do their own thing. Texas had to buy literally every shipping container that they could find and build their own fucking wall. That's another great idea. Their country, U.S., we could just put freaking shipping containers all along the border. It's going to look ridiculous as shit, but if it's a cheap option, why not do it? Put some barbed wire on the top of it. Good enough. Electrify the son of a bitch. Put 240 volts running through the wire, then if they touch it, they fucking get zapped. Who cares? Like, we're not even trying. And that border over there too, I know what I would do. I know what needs to be done. And I think it would work. But one, it's not my land, so I can't touch it. And two, I don't have that much money. So, but if I had tons of money, I'd do it. You don't have to spend millions of dollars to freaking, stop aliens from crossing it. It's like, just get some fence posts or some, like I said, those fence, or the sign posts, like the ones I have, drive them in the ground, and then there you go. Fuck, you can even put some cross members on it to stiffen it up even more. And then put some signs on it, do not cross, you get shot at kind of thing, like seriously. It's freaking ridiculous that this is what, this is what our country does. So, but I think right now that's probably the hottest border in this area, because they know that it's abandoned. No, there's what, maybe 3 people living in that whole entire freaking town, and you got a train that goes through. Like, seriously. So it's freaking ridiculous. So you guys need to up your freaking game. You need to get on with it. Let's get this done and over with. So anyways, guys, I'm going to take off. Like I said, I got a pizza cooking, and I'm going to go have that now. I'm sure it's pretty much done. So, yeah. So anyways, guys, I'm going to take off. So I guess I'll have a good day and stuff. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Take her easy.